Hare Krishna. So, in previous session, we discussed about how uh, how Lord Krishna has protected Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Mother Uttara, and after that, uh, Kunti Maharani offers wonderful prayers uh, in glorification of Lord Krishna. And Kunti Maharani prayers are very unique because no women in the universe, Prabhuji says, no one in the entire universe prays for that. She prays, let difficult situations come in my life, then only I will take your shelter. So, and after, we see the devotees, we have very profound lessons to learn from their lives. So, here in the same way, in the next section, the passing of Bhīṣmadeva, after Lord Krishna, then after saving Parikshit Maharaj, after blessing, so blessing Kunti Maharani, he goes to meet Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj at that point of time, he was very remote. He was lamenting so much. Why? Because he had a feeling that entire Kurukshetra war has taken only because to make him as a king. Of course, he is dharmic and his every activity of Yudhishthira Maharaj is to uphold dharma. So even in our life also, if our intentions are good, our motto is good, but still we end up doing lot of things which involves lot of violence, dealing harshly with others. No? Here, if you see Yudhishthira Maharaj, he unintentionally he had to go through the situations where he has to harm others, like he has to fight others. So and the it is said that for any situation, for anything, any activity happens, the whatever the violence is involved, the leader of the groups involved, they have to take the responsibility. Here, Yudhishthira Maharaj was leader of one of the party, the Pandavas. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj, even though dharmically, even morally also, Yudhishthira Maharaj is nowhere at fault because it is the nature of the devotees being sensitive to the situation. They are very much concerned about others, how others have felt now, what kind of inconvenience they might have caused. They are always sensitive towards others' feelings. So that's why Yudhishthira Maharaj is very much lamenting, and he want to know how to fix it. And he sometimes the situations in our life comes in such a way that we try our best. For example, Yudhishthira Maharaj tried his best to avoid fighting, but irrespective of his desire, he was pulled into the fighting. When he was pulled into the fighting, he had done his own part by fighting, by dharmic way. And then, but what is the resultant of the fight? The opposite party, the Bhīṣma, Drona, and many wonderful personalities on the other side, they are also killed. And on the side of the Pandavas also, so much of violence has taken place. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj is lamenting, and there is gurus, gurus in the assembly of Yudhishthira Maharaj. There is sages, and even Lord Krishna also tried to console Yudhishthira Maharaj. But Yudhishthira Maharaj didn't get pacified, didn't get convinced that whatever he has done is right and truthful. Atharva, can you turn on that light? That light. So so in the same way, in our life also, we many times we think about what has happened in the past. The lamentation from the past haunts us. So, some mistakes or knowingly, unknowingly, some situations that happen, and we will be so much meditating on them. We'll be thinking, oh, if this would not have happened in my life, this should have been better. Like that, we lament so much. We don't let it go. and sometimes we worry too much in future about future. So all my dealings, all my life is a failure. Like no, all my dealings are so like no, our mind puts us in a situation like that. So here Yudhishthira Maharaj also, even though he was the greatest of the kings, he is known for his righteousness. Even in those days, kings used to show him an exemplary how the exemplary king should be. His role model is Yudhishthira Maharaj. But Yudhishthira Maharaj on his own, he is thinking, he is under thinking that all my life is a failure. I went into gambling because of me. My family has suffered so much. I lost all the wealth that we have earned so hardly in the gambling, and because of me being the moral, along with me, my brother and my wife and my family all suffered, and like that means like when the situation comes, our mind will take us into so much into negative thinking that we see totally our life in the total negative aspect. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj was so much aggrieved. Everybody tries to console Yudhishthira Maharaj, but it is Krishna's will. See, for anything like when somebody says something, we may get convinced. That intelligence is given by Krishna from within the heart. In the same way, here, even though everybody tried to console Yudhishthira Maharaj, even Krishna also tried to console Yudhishthira Maharaj, but Yudhishthira Maharaj did not had the he was not feeling well. He did not uh, feel good. Like he's still he was still lamenting. Uh, so it is by the will of Krishna. So why? Because Krishna wanted to take Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the Pandavas to see Bhīṣmadeva. So and finally, uh, a day comes like when Bhīṣmadeva was passing. So why Bhīṣmadeva was like in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, what has happened? Like Bhīṣmadeva has fallen down in the battle of Kurukshetra on the 9th day. He fought only 9 days. By 9 days, he actually destroyed half of the Pandavas' army. It was so powerful. If he had fought for 2 more days, entire battle of Kurukshetra would be one-sided. So, but Bhīṣmadeva, by the will of Krishna, because Krishna wanted to, Bhīṣmadeva was fighting towards on the side of Adharma. So even though he is a powerful warrior, he is a great devotee, but still Krishna made him fall down. How? Because Krishna, by the order of Krishna, Arjuna had shot Bhīṣmadeva with so many arrows that there is not even an inch of gap in his body. His body is full of arrows. And it is said that Bhīṣmadeva's body, when he touches the ground cannot bear the weight. Means like ground cannot, it will be very inauspicious to the Mother Earth. So Krishna orders Arjuna not to make Bhīṣmadeva's body fall on the earth. So the arrangement with Arjuna makes the arrangement such Bhīṣmadeva's body falls on the arrows, and he was laying in the arrows. Now we see like we get some small thorn into our feet. Will should be excruciating pain. Our entire attention will be there only. On the contrary, Bhīṣmadeva's entire body was filled with arrows. So, but still Bhīṣmadeva was still alive. Because Bhīṣmadeva had this benediction that he can leave his body at any point of time, according to his wish. So, during the battlefield of Kurukshetra, it is Dakshinayana. We said that somebody who passes away their body in the Uttarayana during the first when the sun is in the northern hemisphere, then that is very auspicious. So Bhīṣmadeva thought, if I wait for few more days, let me almost like for 1 month, he actually stays on the bed of arrows. So here, why Krishna had to had the situation to make Bhīṣmadeva suffer through so many arrows is Krishna wanted to prove that however great you may be, however dharmic you may be, but as long as you are on the side of adharma, the end result is like this only. So see, Krishna gives profound lessons to the humankind by showing the example of the life of his devotees. See, ordinary person cannot even bear the pain of one arrow, but Bhīṣmadeva could take so many arrows and still be alive. That is the greatness of Bhīṣmadeva. So, and finally, Bhīṣmadeva, Krishna takes Yudhishthira Maharaj to Kṛṣṇa Maharaj and all the Pandavas to Bhīṣmadeva's deathbed. And he tells the Pandavas, you decorate yourself nicely as kings, because Bhīṣmadeva had so much love and affection towards the Pandavas. And Krishna knows if Bhīṣmadeva sees Pandavas in this kingly dress, victorious in the battlefield, and now the ruler, as the rulers of earthly kingdom now, he will be very happy. So he asks Pandavas to dress them nicely. So then he takes all the Pandavas to the bedside of, deathbed of Bhīṣmadeva. Bhīṣmadeva then, after seeing the Pandavas and seeing Krishna, he was very happy. And then he addresses the Pandavas. He first pays obeisances to Krishna. So when Bhīṣmadeva was passing away, the great saints of all over the universe, they come to know that this is the very auspicious moment that Bhīṣmadeva is leaving his body. Means a great personality. See, we also perform in our temple, also in our Sampradaya, we perform appearance and disappearance day of Vaishnavas, especially the spiritual master Prabhupada and Guru Parampara. So why? Because appearance day is they actually descended into this material world out of their causeless mercy. And disappearance day means when they leave their body, they leave from here and they go back to Godhead, back to Krishna. So that's why it is more happy situation for them. So that's why the we generally glorify appearance and disappearance day of great Vaishnavas. So now Bhīṣmadeva is the greatest of the Vaishnavas. It is called Mahajanas, 9 Mahajanas. Bhīṣma, Kapila, and Yama, like that, Swayambhu, Brahma, Shiva, Kumara, like that, they are like 9 Mahajanas. So, 12 Mahajanas, okay. So among these 12 Mahajanas, Bhīṣmadeva is one among them. So such a great personality is leaving the body. So that's why great sages, if you see all the background, great sages came to witness the situation. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, directly Krishna, is present there. So Bhīṣmadeva, being on his deathbed, he is not in a situation to offer any respects or any reception to the guest. But Bhīṣmadeva, even though he was not able to get up, he, based on time, place, and circumstances, he welcomed each one of them with sweet words and by calling each one by their name. Means that it is a way of showing respects. Like, see, everybody, whatever situation you may be in, when you see a Vaishnava or any devotee in the temple, we should offer respects. So Bhīṣmadeva, based on his circumstances, he is in the deathbed now, but still he is showing his respect through his words. So now Bhīṣmadeva, after his deathbed, Bhīṣmadeva addresses the Pandavas. Aho kastam ahonyayam yadyuyam dharmanandana jividam narhata klishtam vipradharma chutashraya. Bhīṣmadeva says, to addressing the Pandavas, he said, "Oh Pandavas, oh my God, you have gone through so much of difficulties in your life. Even though you are so pious and so gentle and never did any harm to anybody, but still your life has been so full of sufferings. But you have been protected by the blessings of Vipra, means the Brahmanas and Dharma and Achyuta. Because you are taking shelter of Vipra, Dharma and Achyuta, Ashraya. You are taking Ashraya of Vipra, Dharma and Achyuta. That's why you have been protected. So looking at, even though you are going through, when you go through lamentation, when somebody goes through lamentation, they may experience certain kind of pain. But the loved ones of that person, for example, when a child is going through some pain, some operation, some pain, pain will, the child will have like now X amount of pain. But the loved ones of that child, like mother and father and the loved ones of the child, they'll have 10x kind of, means 10 times more pain than the child, because they don't want their, they don't want their, they cannot bear seeing their loved one going through such a pain. So Bhīṣmadeva is saying Kunti Maharani lamented more, doubly, means more than your pain. Kunti Maharani's pain is much worse because she has been witnessing your pain. So then he says it is inevitable time under whose control everyone and every planet is carried out. So even though you have the protection of dharma, your dharma, even though you are protected by brahmanas, and even though you are protected by directly the supreme personality of God himself, but still so much of difficulties came into your life. So then Bhishma is saying that's why this time is inevitable time is under whose control everybody in this planet is carried out. So by the will of time, everybody's life is controlled. So we also see so many bad things happen to good people and so many good things. So why that means it is like as per the law of karma, like they have to get through the situation. See, whenever any bad thing come in a person, a good person's life, he has to think that there is a situation, suffering that I have to go through as my previous karma. Then they should take it as a purification. So means like, see, like if you owe somebody some money and that person comes and takes that money away, then you should think that okay, my debt is clear, debt is clear now. If not today, tomorrow you have to give with interest, more interest, more and more interest. So in the same way, when any suffering situation comes, means either you suffer today or tomorrow. So some suffering comes situation, you should take as okay, somehow the bad karma is removed from my account, like that. So then he says wonders and marvels influenced by inevitable. So and Bhīṣmadeva says these reversals in our life, they are unavoidable. You may plan out, you may work so hardly, diligently, and honestly, but the reversal situations in our life is unavoidable. So right now we are suffering there. Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika, kleshas, suffering due to mind and body and senses, and Adi Adhyatmika. Adi Bhautika means suffering due to other living entities, and Adi Daivika, suffering due to natural disasters. Right now, snowing, too much of cold, too much of heat. So these are different kinds of sufferings that we can witness. And also Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, old age, disease and death. These are also suffering situations. Okay? So these are unavoidable. So that's why we have to it is said, you may say, okay, what is the point? Okay, we will have suffering situations only for few days in our life. Rest of the days we can enjoy, we can be happy. No, it's not like that. These situations, sufferings keep on coming. It is said, Kṛṣṇa says, right? Just like winter and summer comes and goes, happiness and distress comes and goes. If we see our life clearly, some days we are happy, some days we suffer, some days we are happy, some days we suffer again. So happy, distress, and sometimes nothing, no happy, no distress, normal days. So like that is life is full of changes. It is said that the situation, change is the only permanent in the certain material existence. Everything keeps on changing, keeps on changing. So everything is prone to change. Like wealth, greatest of the empire has gone, greatest of the personalities have died. So, and very some people from utter poverty they rose to very high, like very high positions. And after they going to such a high position, they again it's a loop. Okay, so there is a constant change in the material existence. So Bhīṣmadeva says, just accept and obey it, because even the greatest of the time, greatest of the personalities, greatest of the sages, they don't know what are the plans of the Lord. Nahyasya karhi chidrayan puman veda vidisitam yad vijisyan yad vijijnasya yukta mahyanti kavayopihi. So even the greatest of the philosophers are bewildered by the influence of time, because time is directly working under the influence, under the direction, under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And Krishna was all along with the Pandavas. It doesn't mean that Krishna is totally gave up Pandavas association. Krishna is always Pandavas only. But still, the so much of suffering situations came in the life of Pandavas. So it means to say, even if you are devotees, even you are leading our life so perfectly with all your sadhana, all your devotion service, you are serving in the temple, daily chanting, reading, taking association of devotees, but still some suffering situations comes. So what is the most important thing is, it's not like how we can avoid suffering. The most important thing is how are we maintaining our consciousness in both happy and distressful situations, or in any situations. Is our devotion, like the suffering and enjoyment and happy and distressful situations in our life should not impact our devotion. That is the most important thing. That is the best achievement that we can do in our life. So if you are doing nicely your bhakti, and some situation comes, either suffering, happy or distressful situation. So not only the distressful situations are detrimental, but also happy situations are also detrimental. If somebody is too happy, too much of agitated, too much of happiness, he is regularly chanting, doing bhakti very nicely. Suddenly, some like a marriage or some function, grand celebration is happening at home, or some parties, immediately they will give up their spirituality. Oh, today I have party at home, I will go to my means we should not give up our spiritual practice or spiritual sadhana, or our consciousness should not be bewildered. We can go through all those things, but given to the situation that our spiritual life and spiritual sadhana and that is not impacted. So, like even like some situations, like some people will be there, like especially as students, when they don't have job, they take up bhakti, they chant, and they come. All they do. As soon as they get job, everything gave up, everything, and then gone. It might be okay. There is a possibility that they wanted to stabilize the job first, okay, but still, or it has to be properly maintained. And also, there will be some people they will be favorable and getting connected gradually. Suddenly, some distressful situation comes. Some devotee says something to him, or some devotee didn't care about him or insults him. Immediately, he will give up. That is also a fall down. Both of them. You give up your spiritual life for the sake of happy or distressful situation. That is a fall down. So our life should not be impacted by these changes our spiritual life should not be impacted by the changes in our life. Okay. So what is the solution? Just be witness, accept it, and pass it on, pass through the situation. And moreoverly, rather than going through the situation, we have to grow through the situation. Every experience that we go through should help us bring more and more closer to Krishna. So then, Bhīṣmadeva then, it says, Bhīṣmadeva later on, he, after talking to the Pandavas, he actually, he glorifies Lord Krishna. Our Lord is incanceable, original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And great personalities know Lord Krishna's activities, but not intentions. Okay? Somebody may externally see Lord Krishna's actions, but if they don't have the devotional spirit, they may generally misunderstand Lord Krishna's activities. So in ignorance, you consider Lord Krishna to be your cousin. Like he's saying to the Pandavas, even though he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you out of your ignorance, you are considering Lord Krishna as your cousin, but he is the directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like that, and also he says further understand. So he further glorifies as how Lord is absolute in nature, and only by bhakti Lord is revealed. If you want to understand Krishna and the activities of Krishna, only by devotion we can understand Krishna. Bhakti means bhaktyamam vajanati. Only devotees can understand me. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So then Bhīṣmadeva offers wonderful prayers in glorification of Krishna, and then he instructs Pandavas. He instructs Pandavas about Varnashrama Dharma, Dana Dharma, Raja Dharma, Moksha Dharma, and Sri Dharma, and duties of devotees, and so duties of act of charity, so act of duties of activities of salvation, duties of women, occupational duties, and Varnashrama Dharma, and other statuses of life. Okay, and finally, Bhīṣmadeva withdraw his mind. Finally, when his last moment came, Bhīṣmadeva withdraw his mind from all the external things, and then he focused on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was actually in front of him. Means he is showing by example how to pass away. Means we have to do all our duties to the best of our possibilities as per Dharma, and then when the final moment comes, we should not be attached to our failures or attached to our successes, attached to our relatives, attached to our nothing. We should be attached to only Krishna. That is the final thing that we have to do. That is the most important thing that we have to achieve in life. So that's why Bhīṣmadeva also withdraw his consciousness from all the other aspects. He respected all the duties around him. He did his job. He did his duty toward his grandchildren, Pandavas. And also, he did whatever has to be done for him in this material world, and then he kept his full attention on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So Bhīṣmadeva offered his thoughts, his consciousness to the Lord. Okay, and finally he offered prayers to the Supreme Lord, investing his thinking, feeling, and willing. Meditates on Lord's attractive features. Remembers Lord's affection means he recalls the episode in the fight, Lord Krishna fighting for the sake of Arjuna. In one situation comes, Arjuna was not fighting with full vigor out of respect towards Bhīṣmadeva in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So at that point of time, Krishna becomes so much angered, and he says, "You are hesitant to fight with Bhīṣmadeva. Now I myself will kill this Bhīṣmadeva." So like that, he's saying that he jumped from the chariot, he took a chariot wheel, and he was about to attack the Bhīṣmadeva. But Lord Arjuna actually came down and then held Lord Krishna's feet, so that Lord will not break his promise. What did Lord has promised in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? He will not touch the weapon, and he will not use weapon. So in one sense, Lord did not use the weapon. He just upheld this chariot wheel. Okay. So and also Krishna's Bhīṣmadeva is remembering all these his dealings with the Lord, and then fulfilling my desires and sacrificing his own promise. And then he remembers the gopis of devotion. He remembers the devotion of the gopis and meditates on Lord's form, attains and he finally attains the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And Bhīṣmadeva, after that, Bhīṣmadeva merged into the supreme absolute truth. That way, with the proper consciousness, he left his body and he merged into the supreme absolute truth. So after Bhīṣmadeva passed his body, all the sages gave the blessings, and then great demigods sounded their kettle drums and all those things. And everybody returned to Hastinapura. Like finally, Pandavas performed the final rites, and everybody returned to Hastinapura and console others. Okay. So, and taking the instructions from Bhīṣmadeva, based on the instructions of Bhīṣmadeva, Yudhishthira Maharaj has ruled the kingdom. So now, because of the instructions of Bhīṣmadeva, Yudhishthira Maharaj was finally is able to come out of his lamenting situation. So that means whenever our mind gives trouble, whenever some situations happen in our life, best thing to get out of it easily is to approach a devotee and take guidance from him. Okay. So that's what I can say. If anybody have any questions or comments, we can discuss now. Hare Krishna. Anybody have any questions or comments? Hare online, anybody have any questions?
We don't have Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.